This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Всем привет, дорогие друзья, с вами Дикий Чемодан, и сегодня мы начинаем проходить игру под названием The Stanley Parable, как переводится притча о Стэнли. Вы знаете, что такое притча? Это типа рассказ. Я знаю то, что игра это странно, иногда любит выносить мозг. И давайте пойдем. Чё тут?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Реально, куда все делись? Видимо, все двери закрыты. Открывается, когда надо будет. Тут уронил кофе. Я прыгать не могу. А еще не могу бегать.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Я пойду вправо.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Что в этой комнате такого?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Не прыгайте с лифта. Что там? Прыгнуть вниз. Сейчас 5000. У вас есть 5000? У меня нет 5000. Давайте не будем пока прыгать. Хотя там какой-то выход есть.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Очень могущественный, конечно же. Что это такое? Куда делись все мои коллеги? Что это за странный голос у меня в голове? Что, все заново? Ладно, пошли просто прямо. Ну как прямо? Туда, куда нам надо. Пам-пам. Я только что слышал, как звонил телефон. Слышите?
When Stanley came to a set
Нет,
of
опять
two
направо.
open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Все это
employee
повторяют.
lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Да.
left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ха-ха-ха.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Нет, я тебя правильно
not your
понял. Ты
enemy,
какой-то
really.
странный голос в моей
I
голове.
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Да.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen
раз
to
ты
you?
сделал так,
Why,
чтобы
I don't know how to
исчезли
convince you of this, but I
все.
really do want to help you, to show you something
Чё-чё-чё?
beautiful. Look, let me
Опасно.
prove it. Let me
Опасность
prove that I'm
по-другому.
on your
Бесплотность,
side.
жизнь
Give
боль,
me a
жизнь
chance.
тлен. Ладно, пойдемте вниз. Почему я не могу прыгать? Так было гораздо легче. 2, 3. Нет, ничего нет. Вы слышите, как будто щелкнул?
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Давай.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Нет.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked
Нет.
through the red door.
Так, продолжаем. Игра крашнулась. Видимо, такие хитрые разработчики.
Oh, thank God you are willing to
Сейчас
listen
все
to me.
будет в порядке.
Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running
Просто
and
чтобы было,
running and
нет?
running, just the way you're doing right now.
А, нет,
Don't
тут
you
пираты
see that
были.
it's killing us,
Ну ладно,
Stanley?
будем ходить кругами.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
Хорошо остановить.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Дверь открылась. Там темно. Пойдем сюда. Ладно. Пока что в этой игре нет ничего странного, кроме того, что у нас пропали все коллеги по работе, и какой-то странный голос разговаривает с нами.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
Чё, прекрасно.
Beautiful, isn't it? If we
Такие
just stay
небо.
right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Нельзя упасть. Невидимая стенка. Да, и правда красиво. Хотя очень освещенно. Погнали. О. Ух ты. Ух ты. Ладно, погнали.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Туда.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will
Ничего
reset.
страшного, я
We'll
буду
lose
делать
all
все
of
на
this.
зло тебе, друг мой. Это меня даже не легко, не знаю, это просто
Please,
какой-то
no,
голос.
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Джеронимо!
Oh,
Еще раз.
thank God. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you
Да.
die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Чувствую
Stanley,
чужой.
let's go
Ладно.
back to the other room. Can you do
А дай
that for
попробуем
me?
реально вернуться в ту комнату. Что будет?
Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking
Ну
about.
что, вернулись. Поменялись цвета.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Я не хочу тут оставаться, ну, ты сам понимаешь, голос что нам надо идти. Еще раз прыгать.
No,
Паркур.
perhaps not.
Пам-парам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Да,
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
да,
You're literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
да,
Am I reading the situation correctly?
да. Чуть-чуть. О,
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
да.
I just wanted us to get along.
Хочешь, чтобы мы поладили, верни меня обратно в реальную жизнь. Потому что я понимаю, что это нереальная
You
жизнь.
wanted to make a choice after all.
Это какая-то долбанная твоя игра.
Is it over? It's going
Да,
to
наверное,
restart, isn't it?
запускается.
I'm going back.
Он мне напоминает чем-то пилу. Похищать, ну, не знаю, что там. Он хочет сыграть в свою игру, по своим правилам. Хочет, чтобы я его слушал. Надеюсь. Мне будет очень интересно, чем это все закончится.
The meeting room. Yes,
Что,
that's
заново?
where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room,
Стану
and
нужно
from
было
then on,
просто
he would
добраться до
never be
конференц-зала, и он
alone
больше
ever
никогда не
again.
будет один. Он говорит на этот раз что-то другое. Давайте опять пойдем направо, там будет там
Stanley
лифт
came to
дальше
a set
был.
of two open. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Мы
Stanley
на
knew it
этом
perfectly
маленький
well.
мостик, а там был
Perhaps he
дальше
wanted
до
to stop by
конца.
the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Опять конференция, комната
Yes,
отдыха.
this room. But
Иди.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Верно,
left.
Нет. Может, мне нравится кататься на лифте? На лифту.
Stanley
Не
was
знаю,
so
на
bad
лифте
at
вот.
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Нужен карточек. Безысходность. Это, по идее,
Look,
грузовой
Stanley,
лифт.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
И склады большие.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Нет, я буду делать свой
I'm not
выбор
asking for
сам.
me. I'm
Я
asking
купил эту игру, а не ты. Понял?
This
Для
is
кого
it,
для нее?
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside.
Кого
To
ее?
let her back into your life.
Кого
She's
ее?
been waiting.
Кто? Ты о чем?
That's her, Stanley.
Можно
You
выключить
need to
свет?
be
Я
the
не
one
хочу
to
понимать
do
трубку.
this. Oh,
О,
no,
да.
no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that
Я не
wasn't
хочу
supposed to
поднимать
be a
телефон.
choice. How did
Когда
you
мне
do
голос говорит
that?
то, что
You
надо
actually
поднять телефон.
chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the
Yes,
two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it.
Что?
How had I not noticed it sooner?
Что ты не
You're not
заметил?
Stanley. You're a real person.
Да, я настоящий человек. Я не
I can't
Стэнли.
believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
Может, ты не будешь на
I
меня
won't
орать,
have that
слышь?
kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Смотрим. Я помолчу.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Практика. Мне это не очень нравится. О, у меня нога затекла. Ну и чё? Практика так практика.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Я ничего не понял. Потому что половина...
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Что это такое? Чуть мы обратно возвращаемся. Голос-то какой-то странный.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Меня жестоко обломали. Что это такое? Зачем мы возвращаемся назад? Ну, видимо, нам туда и надо. Но зачем? Я логики просто не вижу. Чуть кружка тут стоит.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free.
Сможешь наконец освободиться в реальном мире. Я тебе не верю. Я и так свободен. Я свободен.
All you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ha 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 ha.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Тут что-то не так. Это норма. Мне кажется, мы слегка игру сломали. Ладно, все, погнали налево. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Тук-тук. Тук-тук. Никто не отвечает.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Ладно. Мне этот звук не очень нравится. И что ты перезапустил игру?
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed.
Да.
It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Коварный.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Все, открывай и пошли. Надеюсь, сейчас не сломается ничего? Нет, вроде не сломалось.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Почему дверь закрыта? Это же открыто.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Я не могу спуститься, хочу спуститься. Видимо, игра сделала так, чтобы мы делали всегда правильный выбор. И, если честно, мне это не особо нравится. Так, меньше выбора, меньше узнаешь всего. Так что...
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115555. Was this the code to open the door? Would it work? There was one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up. But now, he would draw from within him of the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath, and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Я ж сказал. Игра, ты сломана, иди домой.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. И чё? Это тупая. Я тебя расслышал, но ты сам попробуй сюда сказать, даже не используется.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Ты можешь понять тупой голос? Вот я говорю. Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide some better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing.
Я не могу сказать.
The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right.
Я туда
You could
ходил.
have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Sway. Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Что?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Нет, не все в порядке, я вообще сверху. The End. Спасибо за игру за Stanley Parable. Мы прошли игру! Мы прошли эту долбанную игру. Каким образом? Джесус Хагвардс. Каким образом? Я в шоке. Я просто в шоке. Это, наверное, самая короткая игра, которую я прошел. Да, конечно. Мне кажется, это не единственная концовка, на которую можно было пройти. Потому что если бы мы... не помню, что мы там сделали. Если мы не выключили телефон... ладненько, ладно. Если мы не выключили телефон, было бы все замечательно. Так, мы выключили телефон, все очень плохо. Мы прошли игру. И сейчас перезапустится. Я же сказал, ну, хотя бы на одну концовку мы прошли. Или это была шутка. Ладно, будем считать, что это была правда. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь, комментарии пишите позитивные. С вами был Дикий Чемодан и Стэнли. Какой-то странный голос в его голове. Всем удачи и пока.